how to give her orgasms, how to make her come, how to give her multiple orgasms, how to have simultaneous orgasm. Yo, fam, welcome in. Much love, Trav here. Wow, this video is going to be a massive gift for you. Especially if you're a young man and you haven't figured this out, even if you're an older man and you haven't figured this out. I try to stay in my lane and only teach what I know. So 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 14 years ago, I wish I could have told me this. But I have it now to teach you and to tell you. And believe me when I say this is, people don't know this. A lot of men don't know this. Most men don't know this. And when they do, they don't share it because it's private. It's taboo to talk about it. And then most of the content out there to really get good content like this is behind some paywalls or some shit. So you're not generally, you're gonna have a hard time finding this information from anywhere. I got this information partially through experience, partially from talking to women, a lot from talking to men, and a lot from studying books and reading and becoming a man of experience, becoming that guy. I became that guy. Okay, so I got a whole fucking notepad for you because I wanted to really cram all the info in here. So we're gonna start with mindset. We're going to go into reality, we're going to go into psychology, and we're going to technique. So make sure to stay around for the technique. But first, mindset. Here's the mindset is you have to be a giver. And this is not just in lovemaking. This is in the world. You need to be someone who adds value, someone who creates value, someone who's generous, someone who helps people, someone who raises other people up, someone who improves the mood, someone who makes people laugh, someone who makes women have orgasms, right? So, I don't know about you, but when I was 16, maybe it started later for you, maybe earlier, but when I had my first, partner, it was all about me. I didn't know. I got like sex ed in school, but they just taught like safe sex, and how to have a baby, or how not to have a baby. And I wish I didn't, but yeah, I watched porn when I was 15, 16, and it gave me the wrong impression and what to do, and I just didn't think about her. So many men, and just shifting this is going to change your game completely. So many men just want to get their nut, like I want to bust my nut and forget you. It's for my pleasure. So if you change it and say, hey, this is for your pleasure, this is for you, this is to make you feel good, this is to make you feel better. This is for me to impact the world by spreading pleasure, by spreading joy, by spreading happiness. You're so far ahead of almost every other man out there because most men aren't even necessarily trying, like that's not their objective for sex or for a sexual encounter, is to give orgasms. Their objective is to get their own pleasure. So make your objective her pleasure. And that's the foundation for all this. Number 2 though is reality. Okay, like be the type of man who will make her orgasm. Because I could give you the technique or I could share the psychology, but if you're not that man, if you're not the dude, if you're not who you need to be, it's going to be way harder. If you're a man who has it all together and she's sexually attracted to you, you're sexy to her, it'd be so much easier. It's gonna be so much easier. You get second chances, you get third chances. You can be sloppy in your technique and your psychology, but you just, even in your mindset, you just incidentally give orgasms. Whereas if you're a low status dude, you don't have your shit together, you have all the information, it's going to be hard. So you need to level yourself up. You need to be rich or have money, have your shit together. You don't have to, it's just going to make it easier. You need to be physically fit and healthy. You need to be on a mission. You need to be on a purpose. It's not about having these different things. It's about being a man of integrity, a man on a mission, a man of integrity. That's sexy, right? So what is an orgasm? Why does a woman have an orgasm? Evolutionary psychology that will say, well, one is just for pleasure, so she'll do it. Otherwise, why should we do it? Why should she do it? Another reason is with the orgasm, the actual contractions is a suction up of semen into the cavity. It increases the chance of having a baby, right? it's if she orgasms when she wants to have your baby, psychologically. Be the type of man who she wants to have your baby. What type of man does she want to have your baby? A man who has all his shit together. He's integrity, he has character, he's strong, he's funny, he's rich, he's smart, he's driven, he's ambitious. If you do that, then it'd be way easier for you. If you don't, it'd be way harder. And just to have women in your life, it'd be way harder. Okay, let's move on to psychology. Okay, so psychology, especially the female orgasm, is a lot of psychology. Obviously, like technique, touch, there's certain pleasure spots, yes, but psychology is a major factor, like we talked about. Be the sort of man who psychologically, like, yeah, can make her, will make her come, right? Okay, so psychology. The more anticipation, the better. Like, the bigger the buildup, the stronger the release. So this is in the bedroom, but also the whole lead up, the whole build up, everything. So yeah, you may need to do the approach, but after she signaled to you to approach, you may need to make the finishing move, but you can't make it too easy for her. Or you can, but if the goal is for her to have this intense release, then she needs to work for it. She needs to, okay, it's like they say a woman is like a cat, right? Why do they call it a pussy? Okay, well, if you chase a cat, it runs from you, it runs up a tree. But if you're a mouse, the cat will pounce on you, right? So I'm suggesting, this is different advice than almost anyone give you, would be to position yourself more like the mouse. You are passing, she sees you passing through her orbit, but you're not coming to her and surrounding her like all the hungry dogs out there, right? You're totally, she sees you from the corner of your eye, you're going that way, right? She needs to get your attention, right? And she's not necessarily going to do the physical pouncing. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But you just want to set it up so that she has to do some work. It's not so easy for her like every other guy who just chases after her. She's going to feel like she achieved something. She's going to feel like she accomplished something. And how do you do this? Well, it goes back to being a man, like a good ass man, where you're busy, you have projects, you're on a mission, you're not available all the time, you can't respond all the time, you're coming and going, you're going on trips, right? You're not available every night. You have calls to do, you have work to do, you're reading, you all this stuff. You have time for her in your life, but you don't have infinite time. You're not available all the time, right? She doesn't want that, so she needs to work a little bit. In the end, like, make her beg. Not literally like make her beg, but okay. Anticipation. So we go to anticipation in the bedroom. It's been built up. It didn't happen in the first day. It happened over maybe a period of weeks, maybe over a period of months. She's been thinking about it. She's been fantasizing about it. You've been interacting with each other. You both know it's headed that direction. She doesn't know exactly how it's going to happen. Doesn't know exactly what she have to do. You're the one to finish it, right? Okay, so you continue this, and this goes into a little bit technique. When you're actually, before we get to that safe spot, okay, where to actually do it. You should have a nice spot. You should have a safe, secure spot where nobody's gonna find you. A place where no one's gonna walk by my car right now. So I feel real comfortable. Feel real comfortable to relay this information to you. Yes, you want a sort of anticipation and a sort of anxiety and sort of nervousness in the build-up, but you also need a deep level of comfort. And you're not having comfort when your roommates are walking by, you can hear them on the other side of the wall. Your mom is, might come. You got to have your own spot, and that spot should be safe, and that spot should be secure, and that spot should be private. And that goes back to having money and having a nice spot, right? Having a secure spot. However, there's certain things you can do to make your spot more comfortable. And some people will be like, oh, well, it's exciting and it's fun. I don't know if you've ever had sex on a park bench or had sex on a rooftop. I've actually done those things. It's fucking horrible. I mean, it's fun for the story, but it's hard to give orgasms when you're on a park bench and you're afraid someone's going to walk by at any minute, right? You're just trying to rush through it. That's the opposite of what you want to do. It makes for a fun, adventurous story, but no, okay? You want a safe spot. One way to make your spot more safe, don't have open windows, cover the blinds. You don't want to be able to hear anyone else. It's a psychological thing. If you hear people, it feels like they can hear you. So to prevent you from hearing them and also them from hearing you, put on a fan. I like to play a fan or have air conditioning playing or something like that. You can play music. That can work. Personally, I'm not a DJ. I don't like to play music for people, but playing some ambient background noise so you can't hear the street sounds, you can't hear whatever, that'll help. Okay. Now back to psychology of anticipation. You want to tease her. So you're not trying to fuck her right away. You're not trying to have sex right away. You're not even trying to touch her pleasure points right away. You're creating more anticipation. You're creating more buildup. You're going to slowly work your way in. You're going to work your way down. Right when she thinks you're going to touch her, you don't. You make her wait. She may beg for it. She may ask for it. But that's the psychology. It's like, it's not like, well, oh, please, can I have sex with? No, it's like, she's like, please touch me. It's built. She's not going to say this, but it's in her head. Like, it's been built up in my head for so long, and it's still being built up. Please just touch me already. Like, please, right? Begging, okay? So work your way down. Don't touch the most pleasurable spots right away, okay? In the technique. So here's the psychology. It's her first. Men don't do this. She can't even touch you until she orgasms. This is the best way to do it. She can touch you, but, at most she can hold you. She can't stroke you. She can't do anything. At most she can just touch you. But she can't give you any pleasure until she orgasms. You want to be able to, just like if you hear someone walking by you, it causes your mind to be in multiple places. You think about anxiety of the future, someone walking by, or it takes you out of your body. If she's trying to pleasure you and you're trying to pleasure her, it will cause her to be distracted. You want her to just be focused on her own pleasure and focus on her own pleasure first, right? Men don't do this, but it changes the dynamic entirely, because once you make her come the first time, she's going to want to have sex with you. Women are going to have multiple orgasms, unlike men. Well, men can. It's possible. You can come without ejaculating too. If you're a man, you've never done that. You can practice and do that. But women can orgasm multiple times pretty easily. So, it's just getting started when she comes the first time. She's going to want to have sex with you. And there's going to be there's no pressure to make her orgasm during sex now because she already got hers. And having no pressure on it means it's much more likely to happen. And also because she's already come once, it's much more likely that she's going to come multiple times now during sex, right? So her first. Don't even let her, she can touch you, but she can hold you, but she can't stroke you. She can't try to give you pleasure. No. Yep. Okay, so every woman is different. Unlike men, as a man, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. Women, it's a little more complicated, and also they have more pleasure spots, and they also have more nerve endings, so it's also more pleasurable for them. So a woman has basically 3 spots, where a man has 1 or maybe 2, depending on how you count it. But yeah, okay, the nipples are really sensitive. Yeah, she might really like that. She might not as much though. The clit is really sensitive. It's not as sensitive for others. Some women like the G-spot, the spot up and inside. So she might come really quick from the G-spot. She might never come that way. She needs clitoral stimulation, right? So you don't need to ask her, but basically you're not looking for this. You're kind of looking for the spot, or you're going to the different spots to see how she reacts, right? And you can give her a different kind of orgasm depending on the spot. But for one woman, it might be really easy in one spot. Another, it might be really hard, and it's the other spot. So you have to find that out and not be like, every woman is the same, right? Recognize that they're different. So when you find the spot, now there's different ways to make her come the first time. You go down on her. Just doing it by hand is great though. And the thing about doing it by hand is like, okay, everybody likes oral. Orals creates like a separation between the two bodies. You know, you're far away. There's something about have the body contact and being able to kiss her, whisper in her ear, or, you know, lick her nipples or whatever, while stimulating the spot. You could do it either way and make her come either way, but you can give real strong orgasms just through the hand with your bodies together. Okay? Now, you found the spot. Rhythm. You don't want to be fast. You don't need to be fast. You just want to be consistent. Women love consistency. Women love a consistent man. Going back to being the type of man. Be a consistent man. Have a consistent rhythm. Okay? You can mix it up a little bit to intentionally tease her, but you want to basically keep a rhythm. And you don't need to be fast. You just need to be consistent and do all these other things. There's something, I mean, you can increase speed gradually until she's ready to bust, but the most important thing is just to be consistent on speed, and you could be slow. Giving an orgasm through slow movements can be a lot more powerful than fast movements, because if you go too fast and then she loses it or you lose it, it's just like, yeah, it's better to, in doubt, slow down. Okay? Talking her into it. So you don't have to do it one way. You can do things in different ways. Talking into an orgasm is nice. Telling her what you're going to do, or telling her that you're going to make her come, or even counting her down into it. But it's all psychological. It's like a guiding her into it, right? And there's more. I'll go back to talking her into it, but when we come back to sex, okay, condom. I wish someone had taught me this. First off, I would never ask a girl to be, or a woman to be on birth control. It's like a poison. It's really bad for you. It's bad for your hormones. It's a selfish thing to do just so you can bust. You don't even need to bust. Not necessary. It's nice if you do, but not necessary. Okay? So if you're gonna have, raw sex, the problem with that is, well, one, you could catch something, or you can make a baby too. But also for the sex, like, you're not gonna have simultaneous orgasm doing it raw, because you have to pull out. And then also, it's harder to give her an orgasm because when you're trying to be consistent, if you're trying to not come, then you gotta like stop and you gotta disrupt your rhythm, and you gotta, focus on you and focus this. When you're focusing on you, it's a lot harder for her. So having a condom is actually a nice tool. People hate condoms, but it's a nice tool. And if you have a psychological thing about condoms, like shrink wrap or losing it, have her put it on you. It makes it sexy. That's something I learned. Although you got to make sure that the tip doesn't get torn, or you make a baby that way. Yeah. Okay, so one thing you want to do is, okay, so at this point, months or weeks, a long time of anticipation build up for this man she's so attracted to, this amazing dude who is the type of man who she would want to have his baby psychologically. There's this massive anticipation build up. She had to work for it. She had to try for it. Maybe she even had to beg for it. She's had orgasms. She already came. She had an orgasm. She had orgasms. She's asking you to have sex. She's asking you if you have a condom. She wants to fuck. Okay. Now you're doing that. Even before this, you should have mirrored her breath. You want to be doing breath mirroring. And they'll basically like from early foreplay, like how she's breathing, you breathe the same pace. What this is doing is it's creating a psychological connection. It's creating a really deep rapport. It's also allowing you to lead her, because initially you're letting her to lead you through her breath, but later you're going to be able to lead her to an orgasm because you get real synced this way. You sync up your breath, your bodies become more synced, right? So you're having sex. Okay, maybe she's on you, maybe you're on her. I mean, for the simultaneous orgasm, I guess it depends. Women are all different. Men are different too. But you do all these things right. Your psychology. She's already come. You're synced up. There's a good chance when you come, she's just going to come too. Like, especially if she makes you do it. A simultaneous orgasm. Why? Because you're synced up. Because everything is leading towards that, right? Again, it's not going to happen if you like gotta pull out at the most, like right before, right? That probably will stop her. Yeah. And focusing on her as much as possible. They say, okay, you want to be trying to hit the spot, hit the G spot, whatever. And it depends on the woman. There's different ways, different angles. I'm not going to say there's one best way or one best angle. It really comes down to the broader principles. And it might be easier for her, it might be harder for her. It's not a guarantee, but you do all these things, it makes it much more likely she's gonna bust, she's gonna come, she's gonna orgasm just from having sex with her, just from her having sex with you, and it makes it more likely that when you come, it just triggers her to have a crazy orgasm too. And then what's gonna happen after that is there's just more pleasure in the world. It's just like I said, being a giver. You made it this far. What's your reward for doing this? One, she's going to come back. She's more likely to come back. Women talk. You're going to have more opportunities. You're going to have more pleasure yourself. You're going to give more pleasure. And also, yeah, it's just the right thing to do. So, yeah, I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, you can comment down below. If you would like some personal advice or to get my free books, I talk more about some of the stuff. You can click down below, you get personalized advice. So I hope you find that helpful. I hope you find that useful. I appreciate you. May you spread the joy and the love and the pleasure and have a wonderful time. And thank you. And I hope it goes great for you. I know it will. You're going to have way more confidence from this. It's like, how do you have confidence? Just knowing what to do. You don't have to have a ton of experience to have confidence. You gain confidence from knowing what to do. Because you could have a lot of experience and not know what to do. Still, because you never learned it. But now that you know, you can proceed with confidence. Again, I wish I had really taught me this, or someone had sat down with me and given me like a real sex ed when I was 16. And I would have had a lot more fun, but my partners would have had a lot more fun. But you live and you learn. I'm 30 now. If you're older than me, you haven't figured it out, that's okay too. Now you know. Okay. Much love. Look forward to talking to you soon. Peace out, fam.